It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is Stephen Piercy from his latest release, Smash. And hey, Chris, you should have laid a bet with me because you would have won that one.
No, Stephen?
Well, it got the voicemail just like you said. So I texted him. I just like, dude, I'm trying to call you on the show.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. He is a different one. I'll tell you that for sure. So
that's all right. We'll get him sometime.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to
see him, right?
I kind of wanted to give him a call, to give him a little promotion for the upcoming show this week, and it's just like, I don't know. He's just a funny one.
Well, you're going to see him this week, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go see him on Thursday.
Why don't you make sure you got that Spreaker record app on and just record it when you're there?
Right.
That way he can't dodge the interview.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that he dodges the interview so much as, I don't know what goes on with him. He's just funny.
But if you're in front of him, he'll do it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Just say, hey, Steven, we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Right.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, so I guess they played at some show in Detroit last night as Rat.
Right.
So he's just kind of doing, the double duty there, playing his solo shows, playing some Rat shows, playing some solo shows. So the guy is out there just working hard.
Yeah, he's working. What's he playing? Like 4 or 5 nights a week?
Yeah, it's something like that. He's always. It seems like he does anywhere from Wednesday through Sunday.
I always see video of him popping up on YouTube, and you always have to kind of. It's an ingenious marketing plan because you almost have to watch the video to see what band it is. You don't know if it's just Steven or if it's Rat or the Rat Bastards or who it is.
Yeah, sure.
Good marketing on his part.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let me see here. I had something lined up here, and I wanted to get into it here real quick.
All right.
I was looking. Shit, what happened here?
Show's all fucked up.
It is. I'm a little disoriented today.
Officer Jim got you nervous?
No, not at all. I think he's the one who's nervous.
I think you're probably nervous. All the illegal shit you do over there.
Yeah, I know. Look at me. I'm living like an outlaw over here.
You're probably trying to make sure you don't get arrested. He sees that lawn jockey. He's ready to put you away for fucking, I don't know, some kind of hate thing.
Do you really look at that as being racist?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Gee, I don't know. Black guy holding a lantern to fucking power your fucking house? Yes, I do.
Sure. All right.
You're the most racist guy on the internet anyway.
Yeah, well, that is true. I did find that out.
So I'm surprised you haven't put it actually on your lawn yet.
Well, actually, I believe there's an ordinance that won't even allow you to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some local municipalities that won't allow you to have a lawn jockey, as it were.
Right. What if it was white? Could you do it then?
I don't know. It doesn't specify, whether the color is the issue or not.
Because maybe you could get like 13 coats of pink to hide the black part of it.
Right.
And then put it out there and see if you got busted for it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, getting back into some tunage here.
Okay.
You and I think most people who like rock music or metal or whatever, we've talked about this before, that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even it's just a little to the north of you. Mm-hmm. And you had plans on going there with your buddies over Labor Day.
Yeah, we're still going.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was happening or not.
Yep, still happening.
So apparently Megadeth's Dave Mustaine has once again reiterated his belief that he is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Why, I don't know. I don't know why it matters.
Who knows?
So Mustaine, who was a member of Metallica for less than 2 years, that is from 81 to 83, before being dismissed and replaced by Kurt Hammett, he was not inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the band during the April 2009 ceremony. Has it been that long already?
Yeah. It's
2009.
Yeah, almost 8 years.
It seems like that happened yesterday.
It does, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's already 8 years.
Yeah.
Mustain insists he has already gotten the nod because he has been credited on the first 2 Metallica albums and co-wrote a half a dozen of the songs for the band, which inarguably helped launch their career.
Right.
So he's just basically saying, well, by proxy, I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, then you better hope that Dokken gets in there because you sang on a Dokken song.
Yeah.
Then you'd be in the Rock Hall.
Yeah, then I'd say, well, Dokken's in, and I sang on one of their songs, so I guess that puts me in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, too.
Would I be in there because I was credited on 1 or 2 of their albums? Could I get something for that?
I respect Dave Mustaine for the most part, because...
You do.
Well, he isn't a dummy.
He's a great writer of music and a dick.
Well, I would agree, but would you question his intelligence?
He's well read, but
regardless
he
of his,
continually says stupid shit.
Yeah, but my point is that do you think he is not intelligent?
I think he's intelligent, but I also think he's a bit fucking wacky. I think he's a little bit crazy.
Well, okay, behavior aside, do you think he is intelligent or not intelligent?
Again, I go to the same. Is there a part of him that would be book smart, intelligent, or whatever? Certainly. And certainly his lyrics are deeper and, and take some knowledge and some thought. So, yes, I will agree with that. But then he says such dumb shit as what you're reading right now.
Yeah, but saying dumb shit doesn't make you unintelligent.
Leaving dumb shit does. Dude, if you know somebody that knows everything there is to know about whatever, fucking the history of civilization, that in theory makes them smart. But if they also believe that they're being probed at night by fucking 16 aliens with blue penises and fucking red eyes,
sure,
then they're not that fucking smart, are they?
I don't know that is an intelligence thing as opposed to like maybe a wacky belief.
Okay. So you would call this a wacky belief?
Yeah.
All right.
And the reason I bring this to the table is our own Nathan from Kentucky conducted this interview, by the way.
Sure.
So he did this interview with Dave Mustaine. Mustaine insists he's already gotten in because of his participation. He says, I'm in there. He tells Nathan from Kentucky from the Richmond Register. Anyone who thinks Metallica is in there and Dave Mustaine is not has got a short between their headphones. See, okay. That's just kind of like, well, I drove those guys around and they got in.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for me and my broken down van getting them to their very first gigs, they wouldn't be in the Rock Hall. But because I did drive them around, I'm, by proxy in the Rock Hall.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's dumb.
But who cares? It's the Rock Hall. It's like fucking one credit.
But why even argue about it? Because it's so insignificant.
Well, to these guys, just like him with his fucking. You saw what he said about the Grammy this week, or last week, or whatever it was. Did you see that? He said, it's cool that we got the Grammy, but it should have been given to Dave Mustaine, not Megadeth. It's like, you're a fucking jizzball. What a fucking selfish cunt. Like, these other guys haven't done anything.
Right.
What a douche.
Okay.
He says stupid shit regularly.
But again, does that make him ignorant or unintelligent, or does that just give him some wacky belief?
You know what it does? It makes him very difficult to continually support his music. And I will say in that regard, that is a testament to how strong musically he is. Because if this guy was the guy from Volbeat, we'd all be done listening to his fucking nonsense.
Right. Well, this guy has got a 30-plus year legacy.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's kind of hard to dismiss him.
It is, but he just says such stupid shit.
I would agree. So I'm in there, as far as being there and standing on my own 2 feet and going into the head, taking a piss and saying that I own the house, no, not yet, but I'm sure at some point it is meant to be, and it will happen. I am patient. Mm-hmm. So he's just standing on the outside looking through the glass doors going, I'm going to be in there one day.
Yeah.
I just need to stand out here long enough, and they're going to finally open that door and say, you know what, Dave, you belong in here.
You think he gets in?
Boy, that's a tough one. Because the Rock Hall has been reluctant to even bring in metal bands.
Yeah.
And now that Metallica is in there, in my opinion, and again, I don't know because of the way that they vote people in, but now that Metallica is in there, I think that the Rock Hall thinks that, okay, well, we allowed, one hard rock / metal / thrash band in here.
Right.
They represent all.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. But again, I don't know. But will Megadeth get into the Rock Hall? I don't think so.
I would be surprised if they did.
Yeah.
Because they were not nearly as big. And B, I mean, Rust in Peace is an all-time great metal album. Nobody's going to argue that point. But, I mean, they were just like a really good band.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's other really good bands, different styles of hard rock and metal that are not in there. Fucking Bon Jovi's not in there. And as much as he's a cunt, he's sold 200 million records or whatever the number is.
True.
Some ridiculous amount of records Bon Jovi has sold, and they're not in there. And that again, not a big giant fan, but I would think that Bon Jovi gets the nod over Megadeth, would you? They're much more marketable. They've been on every commercial bullshit thing that Rolling Stone likes to have, so you would think the Rock Hall would vote for them.
Sure.
They just haven't got in for whatever reason.
Exactly.
So, Megadeth, that's got to be way lower down the line, doesn't it?
And like I said, I think that, in my opinion, I think that now that the Rock Hall did induct Metallica, I think they go, well, Metallica kind of represents that whole genre.
Yeah.
So we don't need to, nominate or induct anymore because, they're all the same.
Right, and that's probably why Maiden, Priest, all those bands are never going to get there.
Could possibly be.
The Rock Hall's a fucking...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why Dave even is spending time even thinking about this, because anybody who's really a fan of, hard rock or metal, they don't care if their band is in the Rock Hall.
I know, but dude, the funniest thing is, with my buddies all coming in here from all over the country, they're all pumped up about going to the Rock Hall. And they're all like, I've actually said to a couple of them that, well, I'll just wait in the car, because I really don't want to spend $30 to walk around that shitbag of a fucking building.
Right.
But, and then they're all like, well, you're in the fucking business, dude. We need you for the... Ugh. It's like, all right, I'll walk through it. But I have zero interest. I've been through... How many times have you been there? I've been there twice.
I've been there twice.
And can you think of 3 things that you saw and you were like, whoa, that was fucking cool?
Well, the one thing that stands out for me is the suits. Well, at the time they had the suits from the Beatles when they first came to the U.S.
Okay.
And I think what kind of caught my attention is how tiny they were.
Right, little boys.
Yeah, their suits were just tiny.
Right.
But they have all 4 Beatles, their suits in, behind glass. And I was just like, holy cow, who could wear that? Like a 10-year-old boy.
Right.
But that was kind of cool. That was about one of the coolest things I saw.
Okay, so now 2 more.
Nothing really stands out for me.
The only thing I can name, and I don't even know if it's there anymore because I haven't been there in years now, but the only thing out of either trip that I went, there's only 2 things that I actually remember enough, and one of them I don't even think is cool, which was the napkin that they wrote Enter Sandman on, that James Hetfield wrote Sandman on.
Right.
I remember seeing that. Do I find that to be cool? No. But I did fucking like getting up close to the ZZ Top car.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. The ZZ Top car was cool.
Yeah. But other than that, what? Michael Jackson's glove?
Nah, I didn't, I saw it. It was just like, okay, that's a sparkly white glove. So what?
The MTV tree?
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah, the Woodstock exhibit. Ugh. Junk. It's dude, most hard rocks have. I think you probably have better shit than the fucking Rock Hall does.
Well, I've said this on the show many times. I've been to probably 12 to 15 hard rock cafes around the country, and I think they have better stuff.
They usually do. Some of the guitars that they have and stuff are always cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they have... Like, you go to the Rock Hall and like, oh, well, look at this. Here's Joe Holmes's guitar from the from the Osmosis tour or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I got a fucking autographed Zakk Wylde guitar sitting in my other room.
Right.
Big deal. It's like, what the fuck? It's a shit fest. I don't know why people want it. And plus, yeah, and I guess this is turning into the shit on the Rock Hall segment, but they don't. When you go like to the, I don't know if you've been to the baseball or the football Hall of Fame, probably football, but when you go to either of those, they have like the busts or an exhibit of the people that are inducted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The way they do it at the Rock Hall is just shit.
Yeah.
That scribble on the wall that's lit up thing, that's fucking garbage. Do something. Put a picture of the bands or something, or, it's the fucking, supposedly the pinnacle. How about a 2-minute clip of each band, doing what they did, so that you can actually hear it or see it or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time since I've been there. I think I was at the Rock Hall about, it's been about 20 years.
Okay.
So it may be different. I don't know. When was the last time you stepped foot in there?
Wow. 2000. When did I go with John Oates? 2002. I walked through it with John Oates.
So it's been 15 years for you.
Yeah. Yep. And I can't imagine it's gotten better because I see who they induct since. The inductions are just dog shit. Here comes Chick into the Rock Hall.
Right.
Madonna. Yeah, fantastic. NWA making an appearance.
Right.
It's just it's a shitbag thing. I wish it would fall into the fucking lake. I hate it. I hate being associated with it. Because I live here, and every one of my friends that is from out of town, they're always like, "Oh, you gotta. If I'm ever in town, you gotta take me to the Rock Hall." Everybody wants to go to that shitbag place.
All right. Well, let me ask you something, and I know this might be a little bit, difficult to answer.
Yeah.
If you and I were not in the music business or associated with it in some way and had the opportunity to meet some people and interview some folks and, do this and that, do you think that as a average citizen out there who really doesn't have any connection to the business per se, and you go in there, do you think it's more impressive to them, and we're a little more critical because of, the opportunities that we've had?
Maybe a little, but I think especially in 2017, not as much as you would think, because the opportunity is there to meet people now. You can go to fucking any Comic-Con and meet whoever you want.
Yeah, I know. I was at one about 6 weeks ago, so I know that to be the case.
Gene Simmons, when you met Gene Simmons is not, the keyboard player from Trouble. He's a fucking name guy. So I would think that you probably, maybe it's a little more impressive, but, and I don't know, dude, because I know I still get excited about things every once in a while. I don't know if you still do or not, but I'll give you an example. So it's weird that I have a fucking rock story from a chemo treatment, but okay. So I'm at the hospital on Friday. My son was doing the chemo treatment, and we're in the cancer center. And they invited us to come back one day in a couple of weeks, like on an off treatment day, because Roger Daltrey is going to be visiting the cancer center.
Okay.
I could not have been more excited, dude.
Well, that's a big deal, though.
Well, and that's, but it was funny because my son and my ex were in there, and the two of them couldn't have been more disinterested if it was, some stranger from the street. And for me, it was like, are you fucking kidding me?
But that's a legendary thing.
I know. But but what I'm saying is there's more access now.
Right.
And I mean, I'm at a hospital, the last thing on my mind is any kind of our music business bullshit.
Right.
And something music business on the grandest scale gets handed to me.
Sure.
Now, that's not because I'm Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show.
Right.
That's just because I'm some schmo here with his kid. And what I'm saying is that that's exciting. That's still exciting to me as somebody that's in the business. Going to see the fork that somebody ate fucking Thanksgiving dinner with while they wrote, Bridge Over Troubled Water or some shit.
Sure.
Nah, who gives a shit?
Right.
And that's what you get mostly at the Rock Hall is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, how much bullshit do they have in there that is like, well, these are the notes from this album, or
right.
These are the rejected photos that were going to be used for the album cover or whatever. It's shit like that that's in the Rock Hall. And I don't know whether you're in the business or not. Do you like seeing other people's trash? Some people may. And maybe some people don't look at it as trash. Maybe they look at it as, well, that's my favorite band, so that's important.
Yeah, of course.
But maybe it's because I'm not a collector. Maybe you probably, and you answer yourself. Don't take my word for it. But I would assume you probably would get a little bit more out of the Rock Hall than I would.
Yeah, I would agree.
Collect anything.
I would agree. Now, Officer Jim, I know you're not a collector of stuff, as far as music stuff is concerned, but do you have an interest going to the Rock Hall, or have you been there?
No, not really, not at all.
All right.
I mean, you can see the same stuff at Northfield, the casino.
Sure.
They've got it on the walls there, the same.
That's true.
So not really, no. But I'm not really a big fan of going to downtown Cleveland anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but that's because you can't go down there with your baton and break some skulls on your way in and out of the buildings.
It's be cracking skulls.
Well, the whole inner city thing, I try to stay away.
All right. So anyway, getting back to Dave Mustaine. Mustaine also again spoke about the fact that Megadeth finally won a Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance earlier this year after 12 nominations in the past 26 years.
Yeah.
Having been nominated so many times for a Grammy and not getting in, it almost made me just, what is this? Irascible?
Yeah, okay. Nice word,
I
Dave.
never heard of that.
You're so smart.
Irascible.
He's so intelligent.
Now that I have it, most people would be like, oh, wow, I did it. It's so great. But behind every mountain, there's another mountain. I was looking at my Grammy Award, and it says presented to Megadeth for the best metal performance for Dystopia. Mm-hmm. It would have been way cooler if it would have said presented to Dave Mustaine. And that's
if you'd have played the other instruments, then it would have, you dick.
I still have a target. I'm not giving up yet. So basically what he's saying is, it's great that Megadeth, the entity, won a Grammy Award, but he wants one for himself personally.
For what?
Yeah. Well, again, he says I still have a target. So what he's saying is, somewhere down the road, I'm going to do something on a solo level that's going to be worthy of a Grammy Award.
Well, what's your favorite song from the MD45 record he did?
Yeah, I don't know
That's
that one.
Exactly my point.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows. Because his solo, the one time he did something solo, it was a bag of shit.
Right.
Stop.
And again, how important is it in this day and age to win a Grammy?
Yeah, I mean, who won it last year for metal performance? Do you know?
Wasn't that Megadeth?
No, before that.
Oh,
the year before.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Hailstorm won one sometime, didn't they?
I don't know.
3-4 years ago.
I don't pay attention to that stuff. Awards, You know, this award stuff, be it Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction or Grammy Award or Tony Award or whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, I've never cared about any of that shit.
Because when it comes to stuff that I like, whether it's award winning or not, that really has no bearing on whether I like something or not.
When's the last time you watched an award show?
I haven't. I literally... I'm going to tell you the last time, and I'm going to be honest with you. The last time I watched any kind of an award show was probably back when Metallica lost to Jethro Tull.
Right. Wow.
That's the last time I watched an award show.
Is that 89, 90?
Yeah, right around there. Because after that, it was just like, why do I care?
Yeah. It always cracks me up when one of those big award shows is on, and people will be on like Facebook or whatever, and they'll be like, "Holy shit! Did you see that so and so won the best?" No, I didn't.
Yeah, and even if I did, who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Why does that even matter?
Yeah.
This is award winning.
Well, in that case,
I guess it must be much more gooder than the rest of the stuff out there.
Right. I'm gonna have to follow these Grammys so I know what to listen to.
Exactly. Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich explained to the Plain Dealer, right there in your neck of the woods,
right,
that Dave Mustaine was not included in the Rock Hall along with the former band because you got to kind of cap it somewhere. So in other words, Lars is saying, Dave, you didn't make the cut.
Yeah. He is still stuck on the Metallica.
I know. It's been, he should be proud of his personal accomplishment, rising up as a disbarred member from Metallica and actually going out there and establishing a band that actually got some recognition as Megadeth.
You know how many guys there are out there that got kicked out of bands before they got famous?
Yeah, lots of them.
Don't amount to anything. Realize how close he was to being
Nothing.
Dave Evans or Al Adkins and I'm not even shitting on those guys' talent. Those guys have talent.
Sure.
But, they just didn't have the opportunity, and the band that they were in blew up.
Right.
This guy got kicked out of a band. He could have ended up being in that same category as these guys. He could have been Paul Di'Anno being sued for fucking playing outside of the wheelchair.
Exactly.
But instead, he fucking was able to come back, and for years the argument was Megadeth or Metallica.
I agree.
For, probably for all of the thrash years of Metallica. People were constantly like, oh, this Metallica, but Megadeth, you got to hear this, This guy has had 35 fucking years of it, and he's still stuck on these fucking Metallicas.
Yeah.
It's like, why at this point, when anything Metallica comes up, why wouldn't he just say next question or fucking old news or whatever?
I mean, because, Dave Mustaine is no slouch in his own right as a player.
No.
And as someone who has basically driven the Megadeth machine from day one.
Yeah.
He's been the lone consistent member. Mm-hmm. And they're still relevant today.
Yeah.
So he should be proud of that than still riding the coattails of Metallica.
And it's like, dude, I would never take anything away from the guy's musical ability. The guy is a fucking talent. At least he's a talent at making the exact sound that I love. Megadeth is for sure top 10, if not top 5 in my favorite bands. And I listen to at least one Megadeth album a week, every week. So I love his band. But he's such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I know.
It's like every time he goes on tour, it is a steady stream of just fucking diarrhea with the name Megadeth tattooed to it. It's just fucking disgusting every single time this guy goes on tour.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck. He's a guy that should stop doing interviews. He should let Junior do the interviews because Ellefson is awesome. I mean, we've had Ellefson on how many times? 10?
Easily, and I've hung out with him personally. I hung out with him last fall at the Heavy Metal Television Awards.
Sure.
He came out there with his band, and the one he's managing was at Dollskin.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, he came out there for that and just hung out with the rest of us. And he's been on the show. I interviewed him for his book.
Mm-hmm.
And
I interviewed him for the coffee.
And yeah, and also he was a participant in that roundtable thing that I was in.
Yeah,
with
that's
him,
right.
with Joel MacGyver.
Yeah, and I had the chance to hang out with him when he was doing F5. Here's the third. When he was doing that band.
Right.
And Temple of Brutality and all these bands. I've had plenty of opportunities to meet him. So have you. The guy is great. And they should let him, he's, what's great about him is he's honest in his interviews, but he's smart enough not to say stupid shit.
Yeah.
I guess this is good for Mustain because, people are we're talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, man, he fucking challenges you to be a fan.
Yeah.
Because he's such a dick.
Yeah. He's just got that axe to grind all the time.
Have you talked to Nathan since this story was written?
He just texted over to me and said that he obviously he did the interview and he was stoked about it, and he really enjoyed the fact that he got to speak to Dave Mustaine, which regardless of what you think of him or how stupid he comes off sometimes, the guy is a legendary musician in the thrash metal world.
Sure. Well, Nathan should call in right now because Nathan then, after he texted you, apparently, got messages from Mustain talking about what a bag of shit his story was.
Really?
From Dave Mustaine.
Now, see, this I don't know of.
Yeah, Nathan, call in if you're listening, man. Because Mustain fired back that there was stuff that wasn't true in the story and something about the facts were incorrect or something.
Really? I was not aware of any of this.
And I'm not shitting on Mustain or on Nathan at all, but it was a fluff piece. That's why, you read it. It's a fluff piece. It's Megadeth's been around forever and they're great. And now they're back with Dystopia and it's great. And they're going to be here at the wherever center playing and it's going to be great. It's that kind of a story.
Right.
And Mustain just shit on him for it.
Wow.
And that's the big problem. Mustain had to know that Nathan was a total fucking fanboy and shit on him anyway. Just went out of his way to fucking say, yeah, you did a shitty job.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
So I'm sure he'll call in a second. What was it? 800-497-5891.
Correct. Well, that's crazy. I did not know that. I didn't know that there was some feedback or some retort.
Yeah.
About that at all.
Yeah, but and why would you do that when you've been around 35 fucking years? Okay, you didn't like the story, but move on.
Yeah.
Why do you got to go to your fucking Twitter and say, "Oh, this fucking story was inaccurate as fuck"? What a dick.
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
Well, thank you, Samuel.
Just terrible. All right, to finish this up real quick, Lars Ulrich says Dave Mustaine never played on any Metallica records. No respect to him, but there were a half a dozen other people that were in the lineup in the early days. We thought the fair thing to do would be to include anybody that played on a Metallica record, he added. Dave Mustaine was in the band for 11 months. Predominantly in 1982. I'm not trying to play it down. I have nothing but respect and admiration for his accomplishments since.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are.
Now, who said that?
That was Lars.
Lars.
Yeah.
So Lars found a way to not be a dick.
Yeah, he said, I admire his accomplishments, as I just said. I think that Dave should be proud of his accomplishments as Megadeth.
Well, let's face it, Lars doesn't feel that way, but he's saying what's diplomatic.
Yeah, well, regardless of that, but dumb. Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air. Oh, hang up.
No, he'll call back. No, what I'm saying is that's the difference between a pro that gets it and Dave. Lars could come out there and say, Dave is being a dick. Why should he be in there with Metallica? What did he fucking do? Instead, he took the diplomatic approach, praised him, praised his career, said, he should be prouder of that. That's what a pro does. Dave goes out of his way to say, well, I should be, and me, and not those other fucking guys, and none of them were in it. It's only me. And that's a douchey thing.
I agree. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, fucky.
Hey, who are you calling fucky?
fucky. Fucky. Fucky.
All right. So what happened? What happened?
Actually, the interview went great. I mean, it was funny because when I got it set up, I hit up Chris on Facebook, and he was like, "Dude, you better be on your game. He's going to tear you to shreds if you don't bring your A game." But the interview went great, and talked to him for about 20 minutes, and even at the end, he was like, "Yeah, man, come to Cincinnati, come see me. We'll have a beer, blah blah blah." And then it was online for about 3 days, and he hit me up on Twitter and said there were lots of inaccuracies and omissions in it.
Really? So Mustain hit you up on Twitter to complain to you personally?
Well, I'd put it out there on Twitter through some, through our social media sources and stuff. Just try to get it out there. And he actually responded through the Megadeth beer Twitter. He didn't do it through his personal or the band's. He did it through the Megadeth beer, I guess the Tout Le Monde Twitter.
Okay, so do you know what the quote unquote inaccuracies were? Do you know what they were?
Well, I immediately responded to him, and the only thing he said was, in the original version of the article, I said that he had 4 writing credits on Kill 'Em All, and I did not give him credit for the 2 songs that he had writing credits on Ride the Lightning and Call It Cthulhu. So that was the thing I guess he was most pissed off about, was that I didn't give him writing credits on 2 songs off Ride the Lightning.
From 1984.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like Chris said, something happened 35 years ago, yeah.
You didn't give him writing credits.
Yeah.
Not that none of the fans out there who know anything about Metallica's work or his work as to who got what, where, and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, well...
So basically,
you can consider that an omission.
So you negated his contribution, so therefore it's been wiped off the slate.
I know. I just ruined his fucking career, I guess. Because he didn't get credit for an instrumental off Ride the Lightning. Isn't Call It Cthulhu an instrumental?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right.
Yeah, but then at the end of it, he said, at the end of the tweet, he said, I wrote on 2 Metallica albums, and there are other mistakes too, but too bad because he seemed like a cool dude.
So basically, even though he called you out for being inaccurate, he still said you were a cool dude?
Well, I said, too bad it seems like you were a cool dude.
Oh, so, too bad
it seemed.
Wasn't. Oh, I see. I got you.
Seems
yeah,
or
I guess
seemed?
I wasn't after all.
Hold on. Seems with an S, seemed with an ED.
I think it was seemed, but I'd have to go back and look at it. But I really
so it seemed like you were cool, but you're really a dick.
But now that you've
really
made these mistakes or omissions, now you're nothing to me.
Yeah, pretty much. So I immediately called the texted the publicist who had set up the interview, and I was like, "What the hell's going on, man? Is there something I've missed? I'm, I don't do this for a living. I do sports writing for a living. So the music stuff, I'm always really kind of, I don't know, just insecure when I do music stuff. I love it, but that's not really my wheelhouse. And so when I was kind of like, well, shit, did I fuck something up? If I did, I'll change it, And so, I immediately went online and changed the story to give him the credits for the 2 songs off Ride the Lightning.
Look at you jumping through hoops for else? Dave Mustain.
Yeah, but I'm like, is there something else? Is there something I missed here? Or, what? And the post was like, well, I'll contact the management and get back to you, and they never got back to me.
Oh, boy.
I think Dave Mustain hit into a 6-4-3 double play that ended his career with you as a fan.
No, I still went to the show Sunday.
I'm sure, but now, but be honest. Now, you're like, there's that fucking asshole.
You know, I kind of always knew he was an asshole. I think we all already
so
knew that.
did you get to meet him, or did you get set up with tickets or anything?
I mean, I had a photo pass. I was down in the photo pit.
But you didn't get to go back and say hello and take a picture or nothing like that.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to do that anyway. I mean, they gave me 2 tickets and a photo pass, and I thought about our buddy, and so we went up there and we had a good time. But I mean, it does kind of stain it a little bit, but it, I don't know. Like I said, you kind of already know who he is. I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't know. Maybe the interview almost went too well because I was almost like, wow, that was really cool. And I was like, man, I didn't expect it to be that cool. And then, 3 days later, you get hit with that, and you're like, well, should have figured.
Wow.
It's like, well, wow, but. And like I said,
well, you seemed like a good listener once upon a time as well, Nathan. So, just throw that out there from the show.
Well, you know what? And to be honest, like going back to what Chris was just saying a minute ago, there, my biggest fear was that it was almost too fanboyish. Like it was, it was just too, like pro Megadeth. The story was. And he did say quite a few things in there that I thought would get headlines, and they eventually did. Blabbermouth picked it up, and Metal Sludge picked it up, and a few other people now. It's started to kind of get around now, but some other people have picked it up. But that was my fear, was sitting here writing it, spent the better part of 2 days putting that together, and I was like, at the end, I'm like, fuck, this just sounds like a fan writing this, and I'm a journalist, and I want to be a journalist, but it's like, I hope this doesn't sound just too pro Megadeth. And then he said he didn't like it, so much for that, I guess,
All right.
So,
well, will this dissuade you from doing future music-related interviews, or are you just going to say, I'm just going to brush myself off, and if something comes my way, I'm going to tackle it?
Hey, I'm not a snowflake, man. I will press on.
All right.
I will fight the good fight.
Love that fighting spirit, man.
No, I mean, whatever, man.
Stick to the Johnny Cueto interviews, pal.
Johnny Cueto. He's in San Francisco now, man.
I know. It's the closest to a Red I could name right now. He used to be a Red, right?
Yeah, he used to be, yeah. I can hardly name very many of them either, but there you go, boys and girls. But anyway, I mean, you want a little quick review of the show, or is our man?
Yeah. What happened on the show? Give us a little rundown here.
No, the show was good. I mean, the only thing I really would say is, I noticed very much so that Kiko and Dave Jr. there are doing a lot of the vocals, kind of helping out Dave. They jump in a lot. During Dystopia, he forgot about the whole verse, and Ellison had to step in there and kind of sing for him. And even Kiko did some of the lead singing there for a little bit in one of the songs. I can't remember which one. But they're obviously he's getting older. He's been growling like that for 30 years, so his voice was kind of sketchy. So I did notice that they're kind of trying to help him out a little bit and do that. So, but they put on a hell of a show, man.
How was the attendance?
This was in about a 10,000 seater, and it was probably about 3/4 full. I mean, I would say there was 7, 8, maybe 9 there. The problem is with this little run they have 3 people opening for them that nobody wants to see. I mean, right. Tesseract, Lilac, or Lilac, or whatever, and then Meshuggah. And nobody there cared about any of those bands. A lot of people showed up right before Megadeth came on. And in the middle of Meshuggah, that place was still not even a third of the way full. So if they'd had some decent openers, they might have had some better crowd. But nobody, does any of you guys even know Tesseract or Lilac or whatever the hell their name is? I've never heard of them before myself.
No, I know. Here, when they played here, I think Monday, and they played a 5,000 seater, and it was only at 25%. They did like 1,200. They did 1,200 tickets.
Well, they did a lot better than that here, but it would help if you had better support. I know he. In the article he went on about how he loved these bands, and I'm sure he probably says that about every time he's on tour. He probably says the same thing. But
or if you're going to take out nobodies, at least take out somebody that has like the same style. Take out Municipal Waste or something. They have a record out and they play thrash. So take them out.
Or Havoc or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
I
were supposed
with,
to take out Havoc, but Havoc got kicked off the tour because they wouldn't sign. They had a big falling out with Dave's son. Who
oh
is
yeah,
like
I forgot about
that.
that. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that.
well, I know. I mean, there were a few Meshuggah fans there, but I mean, that's just Swedish death metal. I mean, you can't understand a word that freaking guy says, and and people just kind of sit around like, all right, are you guys going to get off yet? All right. So I mean,
I don't know. People weren't into that 3/16 beat playing that they do.
Well, they had a guitarist had like a 8-string guitar or something, and it was weird. Even though I have to admit though that one of the guitar players, and I'll have to post a picture in the chat in a minute when I get back upstairs, but one of the guitar players looks just like you, Mr. Aiken.
Really, big
except
fat.
A little bit skinnier, but long hair and beard. He looks a lot like you.
Maybe it was me.
Yeah,
that's what I do during the week.
He used to be in Crowbar.
Yeah,
Crowbar.
Slow.
Slow and fat.
All right, Nathan.
Management calling. I hear him.
No. I was just going to ask you if there's a Megadeth song you would like us to play for you.
Well, I talked to Dave about it on the phone, and he was. I mean, and he, like I said, we had a great talk, and there's some good stuff in the article. And there's some other controversial things too, like he talked about Broderick and Grover, and he basically said, told those guys to fuck off, and some other things. But he talked a lot about Kiko and how the first time he heard Kiko play, and he talked about the instrumental "Conquer or Die," which I think is a kick-ass tune. So how about "Conquer or Die"?
All right, well, we'll do that. All right, Nathan.
Cool. Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job.
All right. There goes Nathan.
How fucked up is that? All he wanted to do was interview his idol. And he interviews his idol and he turns into a cunt.
Right.
It happens.
It does happen.
But it happens a lot with Mustain.
Yes.
I mean, you know my story. I have two.
I have one.
You have one too? Yeah, where he wasn't nice.
Yeah, he wasn't nice to me at all.
Yeah, well, dude, he told me, remember he had the infamous, I hope you sleep at night. I hope you can sleep at night knowing that you're stealing from me.
Yeah. When I got him to do the ID for the show, he was, I gave him the script for the ID, and he just looked at, what do you think, I'm stupid or something?
Yeah, well, you should have said, yeah, I do. That's why I wrote it out, you dick.
Right. Exactly.
He's a fucking ass sometimes, man. I mean, I love his music, but I guess in the broad, in the scope of things, I don't have to be his friend. I just gotta like his tunes.
Cunt.
Yes, I agree. He kind of is.
All right. Well, let's play Nathan's request. Let's play a couple of tunes. We'll be back. We'll do some more stuff. So here it is. This is Megadeth. This comes from their latest release, Dystopia, and this is Conquer or Die.
Right.
Exclusively here
On your classic metal show.